let's get to the news that's been making some ripples since Monday Night Football. Tom Brady, who, of course, is the lead broadcaster for Fox, was up in the booth as a minority owner of the Raiders. He's in the coach's booth. He's got the headset on, the whole thing. They show him a couple of times. It's big news that, hey, he's double dipping. He's doing the broadcaster thing, and now he's got this kind of access. People are mad about it. Rodney, you know him so well. Your reaction to this entire news cycle and how it's hit the web and people are going nuts about it.
Well, when they first panned to him up there with the headphones on, I'm saying he's talking to one of the coaches. He's giving them tremendous insight. And as a player / businessman, I understand that Tom's going to take advantage of every opportunity that he gets. I played 15 years in the league, but I've been a broadcaster for 17 years, Jack. And it's definitely a conflict of interest because think about it. When we walk on that field, we get so much information. We get all the behind the scenes information. We get, which the average fan has no idea the type of information we're getting. We're getting, information on players' health, how a team was built, how tough a guy is. You could talk to scouts, coaches, general managers, and just people within the organization. They're going to give you all this information. And Tom Brady's a smart dude. He's going to use this. He's going to use it. It's human nature to use the information. If I talk to Howie Roseman, if he talks to Howie Roseman or Howie tells him how he builds a team, you don't think he's going to take that back to the Raiders and use the same thing? And just think about free agency. If somebody told him, well, this guy's not very tough, when that guy becomes a free agent, he already knows, hey, I'm going to back away from that. So it's definitely a conflict of interest. It made me feel a little uncomfortable when I saw it. And I think it's an unfair advantage for the Raiders and Tom Brady. And the league had given him a pass, Coach.
Yeah, I agree. When I first saw the news way back when Tom signed to be a broadcaster for Fox, and now he's also part owner of the Raiders, anybody in football would say, hey, wait a minute, that's a problem. I don't think the general public caught on to it until they saw him up in the booth. Then the light went on. Oh, wow, this guy works for the Raiders, but he also works for Fox and he gets information. And you're spot on, Rodney, that some of the things that we can ask and talk to people, conversations we had on Sunday night with the Atlanta Falcons people about not only their guys, but about the Minnesota team, how they were going to attack them. If you got that information, now all of a sudden you're playing Minnesota 5 weeks later, you've got some inside information that nobody else has.
Yeah, it was just very uncomfortable when I saw him with the headphones on, because as an owner, I'm sitting back thinking that he's going to be in some suite, engaging in conversation, enjoying the game and entertaining. And then you see Tom Brady up there with full headphones. So he's talking back and forth to Chip Kelly offering advice.
But, to me, that's not the problem. Carly Ursay is on the sideline for the Colts, and she's got headphones on. So him being in the booth is not the problem. The problem is he gets to go around to the other 31 teams and get information that no other owner is going to be able to get.
Right. That point right there.
So here's what's hard about this is that, okay, so you can say that he can't go to practices at other teams' facilities, which the league has said. You can say that he can't go to production meetings, which the league has said, right? And I understand that. But he's still Tom Brady. And there's still every player in the league is going to want to talk to him. Every coach in the league is going to want to, they want to have a relationship with Tom Brady. So how do you say, Tom Brady, you can't go gather any type of information? Like, do you just walk him from the airplane straight into the broadcast booth and make sure that there's no interaction? I don't know how you make this all work. How do you make this all work, Coach, in a way that makes you feel comfortable? Rod, I see a nod in your head. Rod, go ahead.
No, it's one of those situations where Tom's going to watch a lot of tape. We understand that. You find out a lot of information from tape. But Tom has relationships across the league. And He's going to pick up the phone. He's going to call people. He's going to ask questions. That's your job, to find out information. If he's being banned from these meetings, he still has a way, because who's going to turn down Tom Brady? I mean, when he walks in a room, he lights up the entire room. People get excited. People just want to be next to this guy. So, I understand he's taking full advantage of the opportunities, but at the same time, it's not a good look for the NFL, and it's not right, Coach.
Yeah, just imagine, hypothetical, Clark Hunt is the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. If he was at the Raiders-Cowboys game talking to people on the sideline, players, we'd call that tampering, right? He can't do that. Well, Tom Brady is part owner of the Oakland Raiders, and he can talk to any player in the NFL at any time. That's a tough one to swallow.
The interesting thing to me is that he could have lived any life imaginable post-playing career, right? He could have done anything he wanted to do. And he elected to take this big contract to go call games on Fox. Totally understand that. Makes complete sense to me. And then he elected to take this, piece of the Raiders. So naturally, this lifestyle created a conflict of interest right up front. The way he designed and set up this life, it was going to be a conflict of interest. And I just think managing the optics of it, Rod, by sitting in the booth with managing just the optics of it, it was not a good way to do it on Monday night. Go ahead.
But bro, the thing is, like I said, he's going to take advantage of the opportunities. If those gatekeepers and the people they're going to give him those opportunities. They're not going to say something. They're going to allow him to have free access. They're going to allow him to double dip. He's going to do it. And nobody's going to get this type of free access.
And he should. He should do it.
Right.
And I have nothing against Tom Brady and what he's doing. My problem is with the NFL. And not you have to have rules against this. It's not Tom's fault.
It's not Tom's fault.
If the rules against it are that he can't go to practice and he can't go to production meetings, Coach, are you good with it?
No, I don't think he should be able to talk to any players before the game, during the game, after the game, at all on other teams, at game sites.
Okay, so he can't walk the field prior to the game with Kevin Burkhardt and do all that because that's too much information.
The thing that we all do.
Right. So he can go from his airplane or his hotel to the broadcast booth and back into the car and back to the airport. And anything outside of that would cross a line for you.
Yes, that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
I agree. Rodney, is that how you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how he could do both. Because like I said, we have so much access, and all he has to do, he may not show up at the practice, he may not show up at the interviews, but all it takes is a phone call, and everybody's going to pick up Tom Brady's phone call. Nobody's going to say, no, I'm not talking to Tom. If he talks to an offense coordinator, hey, I can't be at the meeting. What are the 2 or 3 most important points? Then all of a sudden he has that, but he hasn't gone to the meeting. Who's turning down Tom Brady? I just think it gets to a point, eventually they're going to have to say, hey, man, what are you going to do? Are you going to be part owner or are you going to be a broadcaster? And that's what it comes down to make things all fair across the league.
You think other owners are going to be making a fuss about this, Coach?
Yes, I certainly would. I'm not an owner. I'm not a coach now, but if I were, I would be upset. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think they have an advantage.
Right. And would calls that are, let's just say on a Tuesday afternoon or a Wednesday afternoon, if he's talking to Aaron Rodgers on the phone, is that less of a big deal to you than if it were at the game site?
No, I think it's wrong either way. And, I've called coaches that we're going to have their game on Sunday, and I call on Wednesday, hey, what are you guys thinking? How do you attack this team? Tell me some of the weaknesses in the other team. I'm doing my job. Okay, I'm trying to get ready for a good broadcast. But if I work for another team, now that's a problem because I've got inside information that I can give my team about someone else, and that no other owner is allowed to do that.
And he's a human being. It's only natural that he uses the information that he gets. And he's a brilliant, really smart dude. And he's going to use it to help build his team, to give any insight that he possibly can. And that's what he's supposed to do. But it's not right.
To Sunday, he can have no interaction, albeit his own cell phone, a Zoom call, a meeting, going to practice. He can do nothing. All he can do to get ready for a game is to watch the tape. And really, what should be enough for Tom Brady to get ready to call a game, if we're all being completely honest with ourselves. Like, Rod, if you were a GM, if you were a coach, if you were a player, and Tom Brady was, what would be your reaction? Would you just say nothing to him?
I would be very careful. I would probably deal in generalities, and I would be very careful. I wouldn't do specific instances with Tom. I'll be a lot broader. So, yeah, I mean, I know how to handle the media. And in Tom Brady's case, it's just not right, Coach, because he gets too much information when he's at those games and he's around those people, and he can use that to build up the Raiders. and to affect his, the Raiders' ability to win.
No, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And when they mentioned that he talked to Chip Kelly 2 or 3 times per week about schemes and various things within the offense, I think that was just another layer on top of that where people go, okay. I mean, at some point, we got to make sure we're managing this thing the right way. But I think if we're all on the same page, let him watch the tape, take him straight to the booth, take him straight out of the stadium, and we're all good. Let's do it that way and let him call games. Is that good with you, Rod?
It looks good, but it looks good. But at the end of the day, you still can't regulate it. The only way you regulate it and say, hey, he can only be an owner or he's going to be a broadcaster. I feel like he has to decide which one he wants to do.
Yeah, let's just say this hypothetical, Jack. The New England Patriots send out a memo tomorrow to the NFL. Hey, we just hired Rodney Harrison as a consultant for us. Nothing else has changed, but Rodney is now working for us.
Right.
Would that put a little red flag in people's minds when Rodney comes to a stadium? Sure, it would.
And coach, and think about it. If we had the Miami Dolphins and we're preparing for the Miami Dolphins, I'm asking questions about the Miami Dolphins. Guess what? I have that information. And of course I could take it back to the Patriots. Yeah. It's just human nature, bro.
Yes.
It's consciously or subconsciously that information is going to affect the way you do business because it's in your brain. We're all right. We move it along. Interesting conversation. I'm sure that it will unfold more and more as it goes along. He's making 30+ mil to call games. You own a team, that price goes up by, it seems like, 100 million every year. So it's just insane to say, how would you choose one? We'll see how it plays out.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.